Love, peace, light, and blessings. So, family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome on in. My name is Jazz. If you're one of my A1 Day 1 subscribers, shout out to you, spiritual gangsters, you original souls. Alexa, turn it down. I do not own the rights to any of the music playing in the background, YouTube. We're still not going to run no ads on this video, so I don't know why they be tripping any damn way. Hello, collective. I miss you guys so much. Thank you guys for your patience with me. Please excuse my little mini hiatus. But as promised, I'm back around the time that I felt like my messages were going to be the most necessary. Hello, pal. Welcome on in. I miss you guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Kwanzaa. So today is the first day of Kwanzaa, you guys. Happy Umoja. Umoja means unity. What's up, Linda? Welcome on in. What's up, Imani? Queen Coco. Hello, everybody. I miss y'all so much. So I just wanted to come on and share some of what me and my ancestors been downloading for Kwanzaa. So I just wrote it all down, and then I went over before I lit the candle, and I was just talking to them heart to heart, soul to soul, DNA to DNA, you know, bloodline to bloodline. So happy Kwanzaa to anybody who's celebrating, and I just wanted to share my download with the collective, if I may. So for anybody who does not know, Kwanzaa is based off of 7 different principles. And today is day 1, and I want to discuss Umoja with my beautiful soul family. Alexa, turn it down. In regards to Umoja, it means to strive for and maintain unity within the family, community, nation, and race. Okay? So this principle always reminds me of my flag, okay? And if y'all don't know, I am Haitian, and on our flag in the middle, it says Union fait la force. And the translation of that means unity makes strength. So that's why day 1 of Kwanzaa always reminds me of my people, of my flag, because in order for us to be the first Black republic to gain their independence, we did not do it by ourselves, we did it together, and that's the only way that it got done. So this principle always reminds me of my flag. This quote allows the ancestors to remind me that by myself I may be strong, but strength is truly impactful in numbers. There's strength in numbers, you guys. So individually, I know we're a force to be reckoned with. I know we have our gifts. I know we have our talents. I know we have the things that we individually bring, but picture when we collectively strive to unite our gifts, unite our talents and our contributions, and what type of force that can really, really be made when we put our heads together versus existing separately. So, yeah, okay. This quote allows the ancestors to remind me that by myself I may be strong, but strength is truly impactful in numbers. The polarity to unification is division. And within our community, there are many things that divide us, such as religion, colorism, and gender. I once had a vision of the Moors, the Nation of Islam, and the Hebrew Israelites, y'all, sitting at a table, breaking bread, strategizing how to uplift and rebuild our community structure. I don't think y'all hear me though. Picture that shit. The Moorish Americans and all of what they do already for the community. The Nation of Islam and all of what they do for the community already. And the Hebrew Israelites and all of what they're doing for the community already. Picture if they could put aside their religious differences and literally sit at a table to strategize and put their heads together how they could collectively uplift this community. Our community probably wouldn't be as far behind if things like that, things that divide us, could be secondary to the things that actually unite us, right? So I thought that was a vision I wanted to share with y'all, because picture that shit, right? Picture that. Them not doing it separately, although they may be strong separately doing it, but them coming together to unite their strengths individually and impact the community in a totally different manner. So could you picture a world where these many divisions amongst us would be secondary to the empowerment of our race first and foremost? Colorism is the oppressor's continuous weapon against the community. We are the only race who is considered light versus dark. Just like we are the only race who identifies our ethnicity hyphenated with a hyphen. Whether it's Afro-American, Afro-Latina, Afro-Haitian, Afro-European, etc. We're the only race who identifies our actual ethnicity with the oppressor's ethnicity. That's a form of colorism, you guys. This divide within us continuously allows us to negate the fact that melanin is the most expensive thing on this planet, worth more than gold itself. Therefore, if we share melanin, we share a race, a culture, a bloodline, and nothing else should divide us within our social system. Colorism creates a psychological self-hatred that causes the Black community to strive for a seat at the oppressor's table versus creating a table for ourselves. Colorism created a worldly structure that made it impossible for Black people to obtain, yet forces them to never stop striving towards. Personally, I believe segregation was genius and integration was detrimental. Emphasis on the word segregation, because I know I'm gonna ruffle some feathers and some people might be triggered by this message, but I wouldn't do the type of work that I do if I wasn't shedding light in dark places, you guys. I can't call myself who I am if I don't go to dark places, meaning places where there is no consciousness, places where there is no enlightenment to begin with, and actually go shine some light over in these places that nobody wants to tread, right? Personally, I believe segregation was genius and integration was detrimental. Emphasis on the word segregation and not racism or slavery. That's not what we're talking about. So segregation is not racism, segregation is not slavery, you guys. In today's society and in every major city, we have a Chinatown, a Hispanic town. I know in the DMV area, you take your ass to Montgomery County, that's all the Latinos, the Hispanics, and all of that stuff. Tacoma Park, Langley Park, all Silver Spring, all that shit. There are certain designated areas in every major city where we identify and respect people's cultural differences, right? So you can go anywhere. I don't care where y'all at right now. I know y'all got a Chinatown somewhere. I know y'all do. And I think this shows us the importance of cultural differences. Emphasis on cultural and not color, okay? Because despite the color of your skin, believe it or not, you can identify with a demographics culture. You sure can. So this has nothing to do with color. This has everything to do with culture. The segregated expressions of one's culture allows the culture to be respected, expressed, and valued. And due to a lack of African culture globally expressed, our religions have been demonized. Our culture is portrayed as poor, even though we migrated from the richest continent. Our women have been over-sexualized and our men have been criminalized. So the lack of the Black community, the African community, the melanated community, giving the expressions of thyself from thyself and not from thy oppressor, this has caused a certain perception of our community within itself. This is also a form of colorism, because the ladder to melanin is everything else that we see in this world. So now we are trying to strive for a seat at a table that don't even belong to us. We don't have a seat at that table. History shows that when Black Wall Street was successful when implemented, meaning unifying our community doesn't rely on the integration of our oppressors. The unification of our community requires our intentional spending, building, networking, resourcing, outsourcing, and uplifting. If the minds of every Black person was geared towards the uplifting of a fellow member of their community, that means we finally realized we were asking for a seat at a table that was never built for us. There's a clear division between the Black man and the Black woman. It's hundreds of years of slavery and then systemic oppression to follow. The unification of the Black family dynamic is forceful, spiritually and physically, because the Black man needs the Black woman and the Black woman needs the Black man. Nobody else on this globe will understand 100% the type of pain and trauma that's embedded in our mitochondria. And as a community, it is our obligation to assist with one another's healings of these bloodlines. We may have physically fought to get to this place in history, but the underlying effects are the mental illnesses and the spiritual warfare that follows. The Black woman feels unsafe and the Black man feels unloved. So many agendas have divided us so far away from one another. It must be intentional to find our ways back to unconditional love. The Black woman was made to depend on a system created by her oppressors and no longer finds value in the type of leadership and strength that the Black man once provided her with. The Black man was put into the oppressor system that was never set up for him to win, but was told that he can't lose. And if he failed, it's because he tried the best way he knew how. Some of them sold drugs. Some of them tried to cheat their way to the top. But understand me when I say it was no way for them to fight fair. You hear me, collective? How was that Black man truly supposed to fight fair in a system that wasn't built for him to win the same way that everybody else was winning? So I pray that one day when my descendants can go to a particular area where every shop that they walk into, there's representation of the type of potential business owner that they could become. Whether it's something as simple as getting their nails done or as important as grocery shopping or taking out a loan, Black people deserve the royalties of our predecessors to be experienced in these timelines. Fuck reparations. What do we look like begging people, the same people who stole our shit, for our shit back? Fuck reparations. Fuck reparations, y'all. I believe that unity of our community is how we get our royalties, how we get our reparations, if you ask me. I said this first starts with eliminating any self-hatred that's associated with our community. Melanin unifies us and also separates us from the world. This year, my ancestors revealed to me that the less self-hatred we have towards ourselves and ultimately one another, the more unification we strive towards. So there's a lot of things psychologically that create barriers within the Black community. And as a result, it makes us stray away from our own community and try to attach ourselves towards systems and communities that we don't even belong to, because we lost our identity for so many years and for such a long time that we've strayed away from the beauty of the land that every race stems from. And I love when I see continental Africans calling our ass back. Y'all be coming across shit like that on y'all timeline too? Where they be like, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Bring y'all ass home. We got businesses to build. We got land for y'all to buy. We got all this shit, because all of our lives, no matter if you're in Europe, in America, in Asia, you are a Black person outside of your continent, outside of where you're from. And all of our lives, a lot of these books, a lot of history has made us actually stray away from going back home and try to create a home away from home, believe it or not. A lot of what we've been taught about the motherland and about our continent, it hasn't really been geared towards making us come back home. It's been geared towards creating a home away from that home. So to all of my Africans, all of my people born or raised by people who were born, you know, I feel like the encouragement of making sure that we at least step foot on that land, because it's powerful. Visit that land. A lot of y'all sitting right here planning y'all vacations for the year. Not near nobody thought about going to Egypt. Not near nobody thought about visiting NIDA and them Nigerians. Not near nobody thought about going to South Africa and seeing what that history do, right? Because a lot of this shit psychologically has programmed us to believe that we don't even have a fucking land that we come from. That we come from our oppressors, that our history started with slavery, and it's not true, guys. So I do believe that we can't unify our communities until we unify our consciousness itself. A lot of us have been separated from that melanated consciousness, from that Pan-African consciousness, because no matter what systemic divisions we have, whether it be religion, whether it be gender, whether it be color, right? Colorism, because light versus dark don't exist in a hue of color. It really don't. I never walked up to a European and said, oh, you a red European. No, you're a yellow European. I've never done no shit like that. So how asinine does it really sound, y'all, that we do that shit to one another? We are creating a system of hierarchy within our own community, within our own race. And I'm going to rephrase that. A system of hierarchy was created for us to continuously implement subconsciously towards one another. So a lot of these things that divide us is the main reason why I feel like Umoja has not happened yet. And if we start to really, really pay attention to how these things are psychological, they really don't exist. You know what I'm saying? That's when we start to put our race first. That's when we start to build our race back up. That's how we can start to strategize how to rebuild the Black community and ultimately become an asset to our economy once again. Because when Black Wall Street was there, you guys, Black people didn't depend on not knowing nobody. And that's why people only fear what they can't control. That's why it's not here till this day. That's why they felt like it was a threat to their economy, to their society. Because the fact of the matter is, Black people are the majority. You hear me? If you have melanin in your skin, you dominate the entire globe. There's not a place of this world, in this entire earth, that we don't occupy, you guys. That's our continent included. So we done invaded this shit. While they thought they was putting us into slavery, we done invaded this shit so we could take so the meat can inherit the earth once more. You hear me? So a lot of people don't realize that, damn, I was just channeling something because then Jazz just lost her whole train of thought. What was I just saying, y'all? I was guided to do a one card spread for us. Oh, I was saying that Black people are the majority, and I feel like the reason why we don't have to fight a war, and this is coming from somebody who was a warrior in her past life, I'm always ready to whoop ass. I'm always ready for a revolution. We don't need that shit in the age of Aquarius. We don't. This is a spiritual warfare that's being fought on the planet in regards to restoration of balance and equality and things of that nature, but we don't need to whoop ass. And this is coming from somebody who used to be a warrior in their past life. So I'm very familiar with utilizing that aspect of my soul when need be. And if I'm telling y'all that we supposed to take the ladders, because this is a spiritual war. You have to know who you are mentally and spiritually and physically. You fight that way. And without your identity, you hear me, as a community, we have lost or lacked our identity. But we are now in the age of information. They used to say if you wanted to keep it from a nigga, to put it in a book, because they knew that the only way that they could deprive us of knowledge was to eliminate our identity. That's why the most of us, when we started world history and U.S. history, our history as Black people started with slavery. They don't want you to know your history, because that's a huge part and a huge portion of our identity. And when you begin to really know who you are, don't you get frustrated? Don't you get angry? That's a DNA upgrade within itself. Don't you get mad? Don't you get like, the fuck I've been living like this for? What the hell is wrong with me? Why I've been looking for a seat at their table when God told me to bring the fucking table? And then put that shit besides theirs. And then make negotiations. I love that Mama D is lately, she been channeling the meek already inherited the earth. They just don't know it. They don't see it. They don't realize it. So Black people being the majority, I want y'all to picture a world where if we dominate the economy and we all strategically and intentionally decided to take our dollar out of this economy and put that dollar within our own community's economy, what type of ripple effect, what type of domino effect that the globe itself, you guys, I'm talking about the entire world. But that consciousness has to be unified. Because like we started this saying, I'm strong by myself, but the strength is in numbers. And that's why on my flag, union fell out for us. A lot of people had a lot of ideas during 1804, but it wasn't until the ceremony of Wakaima and Bukuman sat down and said, what do you think we should do? And the woman said, well, I feed their kids, so, I'm going to go put some poison in the food. And then Bookman said, Desaline, what do you think we should do? Desaline said, I'm just down for that action. I'm ready to whoop some ass. Bookman said, Tucson, what do you think we should do? Well, I think that we should try to negotiate first. And then if that don't work, then, hey, coupe tete boule la ka, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, union fell out for us. Picture, like I said, y'all, the Moors sitting down to break bread with the Nation of Islam, sitting down to break bread with the Hebrew Israelites. That's a fucking sight to see. That breaks systems, that breaks oppression, that breaks racism, that breaks every single last thing that's been placed upon the community. But strategically, division has been put in place for us to not realize that we are united as a community. Yeah, I'm strong by myself, But let me get on here with Alba and give y'all a reading. Y'all see what that energy do. Let me get on here with the Three of Cups. You hear me? And spit some hot fire. It's a difference when we unify ourselves. So it's not a physical war that needs to be fought anymore. I heard it's a spiritual war. If you don't know who you are, you're losing the battle. If you don't know who you are losing this battle. And it is truly unfortunate because the human race is the only race, but we ain't living in a time where everybody sees that. And until then, shine light in the darkness so everybody can finally see that. But if you leave that shit in the darkness, you're going to keep living out a timeline where everybody blind and ain't nobody woke. So the goal is to eventually strive for this human race. You know what I'm saying? That's New Earth. That's what she really wants. She wants that human race energy where we eliminate the fact that I can't fill out a fucking application without checking a box that lets you know who I am and what my skin look like. Why? Right? That's what we strive towards. But that ain't the time we live in. Until I could fill out an application for a loan and I don't have to let you know that I'm black beforehand, you gotta call it out. You have to. So, in 2000 and I would say between 2019 and 2020, I told myself that I was only putting my money towards black businesses. And it's not because a white business couldn't serve me well. It's because a black business has been deprived. We're 10 steps behind. We're 10 steps behind. So if you do a damn good job too, I want to give you a chance first. That's what Umoja means. Because when I bring descendants into this world, I want their opportunities to be way greater than mine's were. So I got to set their plays up. It's my prerogative. It's my obligation to make sure that the way I show up in the world makes it easier for my descendants that come take what I'm leaving and keep flipping that shit for the bloodline. So we're not strategically or intentionally trying to make it easier as a community. We're going to forever struggle in these timelines. So each one reach one. A lot of people don't realize the type of economic impact that we could have until somebody really opens your eyes and plants that seed. And then you taking your money out of the economy that don't serve your community and starting to uplift and rebuild the community that actually serves you back. That's a domino effect. That's a ripple effect. One card spread. Thank you, God. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, ascended masters. Happy Kwanzaa. Mother God, Father God, I ask that you utilize me as a humble vessel. Fill me up with divine love, divine light, divine lessons, divine blessings, divine guidance, and divine intuition for myself and for my beautiful soul family. I ask that you fill us up until we overflow mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. I shade to the ancestors. I Igbo to my lineage, and Amun to those originals. And I wanted to emphasize, you know what I'm saying? We do experience cultural differences, and sometimes that has absolutely nothing to do with color. Some people might not feel the same way. I just encourage y'all to get your own platform to spit fire on. That's it. The color of your skin sometimes doesn't really determine the culture that you resonate with. I know some white people that have experienced the black struggle, even though they can't experience it all. Can I put that out there? It's not everything that you're gonna resonate with. But I know some different cultures that can resonate with the African culture. And that is the culture that they probably closely resonate with because of their experiences and their demographic, their gerontographics, meaning even their parents and their parents' parents. All of this shit becomes now embedded in their DNA. So cultural differences and experiences doesn't always have everything to do with color. And that's why I emphasis on some, because you will never know what it's like to walk down the street and feel all them eyes on you because the shape of your body has been overly sexualized, and you pick up your phone even though ain't nobody calling you just to act like somebody's on the phone so you don't get raped, or developing early, and as soon as your period hit, your parents got to start telling you about, you know, the pedophiles, and you watching the little white girls go to school with the booty shorts, but you got to wear shit below the knee because your hips might be spreading or shaped a little different, and now you have to feel like you are a fucking piece of meat to a grown-ass man who can't control his dick. Certain black girls and certain black boys walking down the street gotten to watch people clutch their purse, and you only 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. You got motherfuckers making you feel like you a damn murderer. Color does determine that type of experience. Certain people, if you don't share melanin, you will never know what the fuck certain things feel like, even though you can resonate with other things that, you know, are associated with the culture and maybe the way that you were raised amongst that culture. But melanin is not something that you associate with when it's acceptable, when it's doable. If you truly associate with that culture, may it be through our ups and our downs. So don't identify with the beautiful aspects of our culture if you do identify with it, but then negate the oppression that comes with being a melanated being, because that's a part of who we are too. And it's not what makes us weak, it's actually what makes us strong. So it is something you would want to acknowledge and identify with at the end of the day. So let's get one card. I was guided to use the African Goddess Arising. It's just like perfect for the occasion, by Abiola Abrams. Alright, y'all. And then we're going to end this. I wrapped y'all up way too long. I did not intend for it to be this long at all. Who's guiding us? Because we're going into a new year, y'all. Who's guiding us? Starting with Umoja. Who's here with this energy? Ancestors, goddesses. We got 79 people in the building. We only have 57 thumbs up. I humbly ask on your way in, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. I love y'all. Who's guiding us, ancestors, into the new year? Woo. See? I didn't even want to pull a card. I didn't. Goddess Allah came out, and her message to us is grief. Now, this ain't our first go around the park with Goddess Allah. She did come out a few times in our other readings, and I just feel like this is symbolic of the seasons. All of them leaves done fell off, and shit is dying outside around us, and so within, so without, as above, so below. Shit is dying, period. This is just a period of death. You know what I'm saying? Whether this be death to the old consciousness, death to the old me, death to the old paradigm. This is just a period of death. And I just feel like during the transformation period, during the chrysalis, it don't feel good. A lot of us are grieving the people we used to be. A lot of us are grieving the paradigm we're coming out of. Leaving shit behind don't always feel good, you guys, but I feel like a lot of us are being called to let certain things go and to leave certain things behind. And we're mourning it. We're mourning it. We're mourning this breakup that's occurring within ourselves. We're breaking up with ourselves. What the fuck? I just heard, you know, a female, she usually breaks up with a man while she's still in a relationship. That's why she start crying when she has sex with him. That's why she's moody. She be crying for no reason. That's why she's distant, because she's breaking up with him while she's still in a relationship. That's what we doing. We still here. We're still kind of tethered and attached to these versions of ourselves, but we're breaking up with the old past version of ourselves while we're still negotiating our terms and conditions. Well, I still need this from you. Well, I still need that from you. Well, I still want to go there with you. You can't come here with me, but I'll take you there with me. What the fuck am I channeling? We are literally grieving this breakup. Some of us are so fucking familiar with that version of she or he, and we're so uncomfortable with familiarizing ourselves with this new type of unison we're coming into with our soul. This is integration of all parts of the soul. Now those feuds that you used to have, whether it used to be a feud between your masculine and your feminine, a feud between your angel and your demon, a feud between your inner child, those feuds, that was a huge part of our identity. This unification is uncomfortable. So we're grieving the breakup with of who we used to be. Every time her card come out, I just feel like she really, really, really like dampens the energy. I'm not gonna lie, Goddess Allah, we love you. But it's like, who wants to talk about grief? They always give that strongest soldier job, like make this low vibrational message high vibrational, Jazz. How the fuck? Like, another message, it's okay to cry. Let it roll, let it flow. Get it out the way now so when you step into the new year, you just feel light on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Get it out the way now. Some of you guys have a reason to grieve, no matter if that's a loss or just, like I said, some of y'all are just stepping into an uncomfortable version of yourself and it's just not familiar. You have no clue who this person is. You don't even know if you could trust them. You don't know if the direction that this new you is taking you in is trustworthy. So it's just a whole lot of uncomfort surrounding the collective right now. But I feel like everybody is being encouraged to cry. Just period. Grief. No matter what's bothering you, don't hold it in. Just period. Let's get her message out the book. And then we're going to end this. Happy Kwanzaa. Ancient Earth Mother Allah is the foremost Igbo Alusi deity. Goddess Allah oversees motherhood, fertility, and the afterlife. After death, humans return to the womb of Allah, replanted in the soul to reincarnate. Give your spirit your grief, bawl it out, wail it out, cry it out, sob, shriek, shed tears, and surrender it. Ugly cry, girl. Like, you should be snorting when you're trying to talk. You should be snotty. Ugly cry. Do y'all give yourself that safe space to be a child again? Like, cry like when you trying to talk, you can't even get your words out. Some of y'all deserve to cry like that. Not no Denzel tear. Fuck them Denzel tears. You are holding unprocessed grief. Some of y'all need to scream. Fuck crying. Like, you need to scream. It's powerful. It's a form of release. It really is. You want to skip over it and get back to normal, but grief doesn't go away because you ignore it. The only way to healing is to walk through it. Losing a loved one is the ultimate heartbreak, but you also experience grief after breakups, job loss, and disappointments. Self-love and self-care are required. Ask for support and be gentle with yourself. All right, collective. Don't be holding that shit in. Who the fuck told you to be strong? You be strong if you want to. It's not required. Show me the fine print, because I swear I've been trying to thug this shit all along until I asked the ancestors, like, where's the fine print? Who the fuck told me I had to have thick skin? Who put this S on my chest? Real shit. Who put that shit there? Show me the fine print. So you could be strong if you want to, collective, if you feel like you have to, if you feel like it's needed in this now moment, but you don't have to. And crying is also not a sign of weakness. It's just a sign of release, you know? Some of you guys need to stop feeling weak whenever you feel like you gotta cry. Now realizing your body is just literally releasing energy, pent up energy, things that actually no longer serve your vessel's highest purpose. A lot of us be asking God to fill us up, and then God look down and be like, bitch, you full. Can you empty your vessel? You want more light? You want more consciousness? You can't hold it. Get light. Sometimes the releasing of our emotions allows us to get light. I just heard bag lady, you know? Lovely Soul said, crying can be a sign of growth. Every time I have an ugly cry with my ancestors, I always have like a huge initiation to follow. So that's no lie. It's like the last stage of that initiation process. They be like, bitch, if you don't just surrender. That's why I'm saying, like, who told us to be strong? Because I've been trying to thug this shit until I finally sat down and was like, show me the fine print. Because who told me to be strong? Who said it had to be this way? Because sometimes I just want to be a crybaby. I really do. Lately, my ancestors, and it's been working. I really fuck people head up with this shit, y'all. I know I'm rapping. I'm about to wrap it up. But I really fuck people head up with this shit lately. I've been doing it to myself, and then I started doing it to other people. If somebody's crying, if somebody's upset, if somebody is bothered, if clearly, you know what I'm saying, they need a shoulder, they need an ear, I don't ask them what's wrong. I be like, what's right? Bitch, that shit, the motherfucker will be mid-tears like, what's right? Yeah, tell me what's right. Clearly something's wrong. Why the fuck do we walk up to people where clearly something's wrong and ask them what's wrong? So they could cry more? I'm that type of bitch. Don't hug me while I'm crying. You really want me to cry, right? Don't ask me what's wrong. Don't ask me. Lady, I'm just like, what's right? And they'll be so stunned and shocked because nobody is geared to help us mentally find gratitude in the face of adversity like that. I don't give a fuck what's wrong. Right now, all I want you to do is tell me what's right. Well, what's right? Well, I got 2 kids that love me. Tell me something else that's right. I got a job that pays real good. Tell me something else that's going good. By the time they get to like number 4 or 5, whatever was wrong, I promise you, it's like, it's in the back of their mind now. And then once you lift their vibration, that's when it's like, so what was wrong? Because it ain't wrong with you no more. Glitched the whole matrix, didn't we? Right? It ain't wrong with you no more. So I don't know. Something might be wrong, collective. I personally don't give a fuck. I want y'all to tell me what's right. Some of y'all have every which reason, like, Jazz, no, fuck that, because all this shit going wrong. Cool beans, you might be right. But something is going right. Something. Dig for it sometimes. Dig for it, y'all. Because I promise you, the enemy's worst nightmare is a motherfucker who got gratitude in the midst of a test, in the midst of a tribulation, in the face of adversity. You want to shake the enemy? Whatever enemy you feel like you facing, tell yourself what's right. Even with tears in your eyes sometimes. You got to. I love y'all. I really did not mean to wrap y'all up this long. We're going on 40 minutes. I send y'all so much love, so much peace, so much light, so much blessings. Until next time. We got 7 days of Kwanzaa. If I don't touch all principles, like I said, y'all, I'm going to jump on for the ones that I feel strongly and truly guided to tap into. Umoja, like I said, it's close to my heart because it's on my flag. Different language, different culture, call it what you want. We are united by melanin. We're united by bloodline. We're united by DNA. We're just literally divided amongst this world, but our belief systems and that solidarity within itself, it is truly united on a core front, you know, and that's why there's so many similarities throughout the African traditional spiritual systems, no matter which one that you dive deep into. So I love y'all. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. If you would like to check out the spiritual shop, please feel free to do so. Until next time.